this was the beginning of tourism in Florida. Everybody thinks it started with the House of Mouse, Disney, but this is where it all began.
Every road leads somewhere. This one helped build Florida. Stretching through the forests of Flagler County is a forgotten piece of the original Dixie Highway, a road that carried some of the state's earliest tourists south and connected communities long before modern highways existed.
It was started in 1914 as a roadway going down to Miami. Ford wanted a way to get his cars down. What happened after World War I ended, 1918, people have more money, more leisure time, work weeks changed, and they wanted adventure. Florida was the last frontier. Believe it or not, the West was settled before Florida was really settled, so people wanted adventures, and they came south on Dixie Highway.
Dixie Highway was not one single roadway, but a network of roads traveling through Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida.
Our section through Flagler County, it's the longest section of brick road that hasn't been paved, is 8.3 miles. St. Johns County has roughly 2 miles of it that's like this, but we have the longest section of brick, not paved, that's left of the 5,860 mile stretch of Dixie Highway. I stopped here because directly that way was the town of Neoga. It was a sawmill town, started in the 1880s, and supplied lumber for projects up in St. Augustine or around here. And our big claim with that is Henry Flagler loved the lumber coming out of there. So part of his house, which is now Flagler College, some of the lumber from that came from the sawmill that was here all the way down to the Bahamas. He had a hotel down there.
Around what time period was this taking place?
Early 1900s. Further to the west, a man named Utley White had a railroad. The bed's still there. It went from Hastings all the way down to Daytona. Henry Flagler bought Utley White's St. John's and Halifax Railroad and used that until he built the FEC Railroad that we have now, the one that we all cross over, Florida East Coast Railroad. Yep. Basically, Neoga was the Bunnell before Bunnell. All this is owned by Rayonier Timber. When you hear about the westward expansion, that's going to all be houses eventually. That side is Pringle Swamp, heavy early American activity. It was a freshwater swamp that ran into Pellicer Creek. If you look at maps, you'll see it branches off. Stevens Branch goes off to the right, and Pringle Swamp comes down to the left. This section is protected under Florida Forever. It's 60 some odd acres. The county owns a piece of it, but the rest of it is set for westward expansion development.
As we continued down the historic brick road, the ride became much rougher than expected. Preston Zepp knew exactly what was causing the damage.
Notice how it's smoother here than what we just came
Oh, yeah, that was some of the most stressful driving I've ever had.
That's what the logging trucks are doing. It's just tearing this road up.
Wow.
That is what's causing all these problems. Dixie Highway was covered in dirt to protect the bricks. 2010, I believe it was. Because of the logging industry, you got a 30,000 pound, 20,000 pound, whatever it is, truck. It does no favors for the road. It's actually crowned it up. It was flat originally, now it's crowned. Again, Rayonier Timber, this is their timber property.
Am I going to be in this guy's way here?
Yep, we're going to have to move.
Truck coming right now, as a matter of fact.
This is owned by Flagler County. Its official name is County Road 13. And When the whole thing with the westward expansion, the development came up, the plan was to cut the road up to make crossings across it for that side to get to this side. This was placed on the National Register in 2004. If they damaged it too much, it would come off of the National Register. So uh, myself, Flagler County Historic Society, Palm Coast Historic Society all spoke up against it. We started a petition that has almost 2,000 signatures right now from Georgia. I think we got some from Texas, which had nothing to do with this, but everybody's kind of tired of seeing our history get destroyed. These bricks came out of northern Alabama, southern Tennessee. Uh, Southern Clay Manufacturing and Graves were the two big manufacturers. Reynolds was another smaller company that provided some. The bricks weigh roughly 9 pounds apiece. And I did the math one time. There was over 5 billion bricks produced
Wow.
for this road.
So how old would you say that brick in your hand you're holding is?
1913, 1914.
Wow.
So here we are, depending on which way you're coming, at the end or the beginning of Brick Road. As I said before, in the 40s, the county was asphalting everything and told people to come get as many bricks as you want. And then they asphalted over what was left. This is where we started. When when Flagler County was being developed in 1917, it was roads like this that brought in the lumber and supplies and people. And yeah, we had the trains, but more people were driving then. And this brought money in to create Flagler County. During the Great Depression, we took a big hit too. It wasn't just the Midwest and Kansas. Florida got hammered, and technically the Great Depression started with us in Miami. And these roads had people either trying to find work, we're working on the roads, we're just coming in trying to find work. And these are pieces that are left to tell that story that doesn't get told in schools.
Just another piece of history that maybe people living here really don't know much about or really anything about.
Most of Flagler County, Palm Coast, there's very few Flaglerites, pure Flagler people, or Floridians here anymore. So they don't know the stories, they don't know the history. Everybody thinks that we started with Palm Coast, and we didn't. Our history goes back thousands of years. And this is a way to tell that story.